Far Cry 5 is a good game. I know, hear me out. Despite some bugs, which vary from exploring or like doing some main missions or even missions in general, where either it glitches out or the cutscene doesn't trigger. I'm trying to avoid doing spoilers so far into the game, but there's a couple issues I've had with bugs where the scenes aren't doing correctly, so you have to reload to the checkpoint, right? Reload the game, and luckily a lot of times it's back to the checkpoint, isn't too bad, or it hits the actual scene you're in, which is a pain in the ass because like, oh, you missed the scene here. But despite that, I don't think I've encountered many bugs at all. Great. Oh, it's not game breaking, but you know, it's resolved with it being reloaded. But aside from that, the game is actually not too bad. And before I carry on the review, I will point out, because I forgot to put it in my notes, is I like the fact every time I do a review there's always chaos. We've got a pet dragon now, and he wants some attention. He's looking at me like, what are you doing? After his swine. Anyway, moving on. There is over 100 licensed songs in this game, which is a lot to consider the fact that it's an open world game. And like I said, I can't really play much of them or any of them at all because obviously you want to do videos, obviously. Yeah, but unless I make them videos myself. But yeah, there's over 100 licensed game, which is amazing. And obviously you got your radio stations and all that jazz, and also you got to find them in game for these missions, which is it's another lot boring shizzle. And also, before I carry on, Ubisoft is a swine for now having to ensure you need to log into your account every 6 months. I think it's enforced, or they're going to do it. Otherwise, your account is deleted, and that's why online activation sucks ass. Because like you pay money for games, and say you're not activated for whatever reason, you lose your game, you lose your progress, everything, and it's like, well, why? This is why I can't avoid hating playing pay for service games, but Far Cry 6 is worse. Alright, I love Far Cry 5. I balls deep into this. I mean, 6, I got 6 when it came on Steam for like 12-13 quid, and I've not played much of it because it's got a connectivity issue, which people are saying in game. For some reason it has, even though I play single player, I don't do co-op. I like playing my own single player. Far Cry 5 is like, yeah, sure, yeah, we'll keep you. We don't need to connect. Far Cry 6, like, you have to be connected at all times, even if you play offline. The fuck's the point? Because you have to connect online to show the fact that the game's not boot, you know, a stolen key, which is stupid. It's like, why? So yeah, Far Cry 6 is a mess. I'm not going to Far Cry 6. We're going to do 5. So yeah. Another issue I got with, which annoys me in 5, is you, the main character, do not have a voice. Which a lot of moments in the game, if we were to speak a character, it'd be great. It'll add more of a kick rather than the staring menacingly and goes, right, okay. And you know, Far Cry 3 had it, and it was amazing. Like, it was perfect. Added to it. I've not played 4, so I can't comment on 4. But 6 has obviously voice, more interactive, which is great. It adds the missing piece. I mean, we're not playing back in day where it's like GTA 3, where there's no fucking characters. And it's 20 years ago. Obviously, main character voices are important regarding if it's your own protagonist yourself, you know. And another main gripe I've got, for some weird ass reason, unless it's my pad or whatever, there is no reverse. It shows you in the it shows you there's a button for it, but it does not reverse. It does not work, the reverse button, unless I use the keyboard, which most of the time I just use a handbrake, which I didn't realize there was no button that was properly synced up on the console commands or something like that for whatever reason. But yeah, for my pad, there's no reverse. And when I started playing this game, I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck? Literally trying to brake, and I was just like, oh, it's not braking. Okay, it must be a slow car. No. But let's talk about the pros. Okay, I think that's the only other major issue. It's that. So like I said, trying to use a plane, a helicopter, especially trying to slow down. Yeah, I've died a few times. But what I do like about this game, firstly, is Draco's being an asshole again. This seriously. What are you doing? There you go, Snook. I mean, it's not even trying to make it in multiple times for the do gaming videos. You guys should know by now. There's if you're new or whatever. Regardless what video I do, regardless what videos I do, either my dog yaps, there's either noises elsewhere, or like now I've got a bloody dragon, and he's next to me and he's being adorable, but he's being a cock, and he knows he's a cock. So I thought I'm getting distracted from fucking doing this review, but hey ho. That's normal. At some point, do multiple takes. This happens all the fucking time. It's very rare. It's quiet. So moving swiftly on. What I do like about this game is the interactive map, in a way. Basically, obviously, you can zoom out and zoom in seamlessly, and basically you get close to see the buildings. Oh, it's not in detail 100%, but you can get close and you can see, outlines of buildings and stuff like that, which reminds you of Driver San Francisco. That has the perfect system, where you can zoom straight in and straight out. There's no issues at all. But obviously, unlike Far Cry 5, with Driver, you can jump to any car you see. This is like, well, no, you can't really see live traffic, stuff like that, but you've got the map zooming in and out. So obviously you fast travel, which is nice. Also, there's planes. I know that it's the first time I've played. I don't know if there's helicopters in 4. Like I said, I've not played 4, but for me, this is the first time playing helicopters. I know I played 6 first before 5. But playing 5, you have planes and helicopters, which is a big deal. I mean, planes are fast. Not slightly faster than I've learned. They're slightly faster than the helicopters, but planes are slightly harder to get because there's only a few airfields dotted around the map, which you have to unlock to get them. And the fact they're very expensive as well. Same with helicopters, but for some reason, like I said, there's some physics issues. Like you can just slam on braking and stuff like that, which is fine. It's Far Cry. It's not meant to be realistic. But again, helicopters are very expensive, but for some reason, I don't know if it's because Far Cry, Ubisoft's like, have all the content. There is a shitload of Ubisoft content which I've got. I don't know how, what, or why. I've not got Game of the Year edition. I've got the base game, but I've got loads of I don't know if it's a glitch. I can't really complain, but like all like the bonus content, like the cars, planes, and weapons is available. Like the main ones, like it's the one with the custom skins and all that bollocks. But the standard weapons are locked until you later in the game. So if you're able to save up money by hunting and doing side missions and fishing and all that jazz, money. But again, money's hard to get. But I got a helicopter, like the army helicopter, like near the start of the game when I finally got a helipad, and it saved my ass multiple times. Again, the weapons are good, even with customizable weapons and all that jazz. There's nothing ridiculous apart from obviously the customized from the Ubisoft Store ones, where they look a bit silly, but having them unlocked already, you can see what's going on and that jazz. And obviously there's a few that do have perks, from silencers to obviously to skins and like extended mags and all that jazz. It's good. They don't break away from the fact they're trying to be unrealistic. It's still got that feel, and obviously every weapon has a feel to it, which feels great. Like you're proper into it. And same with vehicles as well. Like I said, there's cars with machine guns, cars with big Jeep with a fucking rocket launcher onto it. But the gripe is for that is it's not infinite ammo. It's good because you have to conceive, but at the same time, it's $1,000 in game to replenish, unless you've got loads of money to begin with. That's a lot of goddamn dough. I'd say, for fuck's sake, why? But aside from that, money is getting hard, but that's down to obviously exploring that jazz. But leveling up your character, like I said, I'm trying to compare 6 to 3 to whatever that jazz. 3 has the similar thing where obviously you level up, you do stuff, and you can lock the perks forever. 6 is shit. You have to have clothes that do certain things only. And I'm like, well, why is it downgraded from 5? 5's perfect. 5 again, obviously a lot of stuff you have to unlock through the game, but majority of stuff is ready to go. You just got to do missions, side quests, and all that jazz. And you can find magazines with perk points, which when you explore, you don't realise you're doing, or do side quests. You get your perks as you progress through the game, and that's good. It stays permanently. You get all sorts. I mean, what I found out, some I didn't find out till later on in the game. Like you can pick locks and pick doors. So I'm finding keys. I got that earlier, but there's a second upgrade to it where it unlocks stuff faster. I mean, a lot of stuff when you're hiding from the enemies and that stuff, it's a lifesaver. Trying to hide and get you safe and stuff like that's good. And some saves you get actual in-game currency. Like it's not a lot. I think you get like 40 silver bars, whatever the hell they call them. They're worth like, I don't know how much they're worth, like £8 I think for like 600 or some shit like that. But I think I found 300 so far, which you can use that to buy the vehicles and stuff as well. Which again, it's kind of a tease, but like, oh, you can see this, but you can spend actual currency, actual money to buy the perks, and it's like, it's not the same. But there's a couple of one that was quite, I say, overpowered, especially early in the game, is you get a perk where you drive a vehicle and obviously you need a repair tool. Dracul's moving again, he's a sausage. Obviously you have to unlock the repair tool, which for some reason in 2 it's straight at the start of the game. In 3 obviously you have to, I think 3 unlock it with a tool, and obviously 5 it's on unlock. But then you have another perk where you can repair automatically when you drive. I mean, that's kind of defeats the object of having a repair tool, because it's getting to any car and it will just heal itself if you're not getting shot at, which later on in some missions it's a lifesaver, but at the same time it makes the repair tool redundant. You know, it's like there's no danger, just drive somewhere and hide for a minute because it'll just heal up instantly, essentially. So stuff like obviously perks and that jazz is good, because obviously you get your weapon upgrades, ammo upgrades, you can reload stuff faster, you can become resistant, and discovering stuff as well. You unlock perks, the permanent like buffs, and obviously you can create as well in the workshop. You can, well, not workshop, while you carry around, you can create molotovs and dynamite and pipe bombs on that jazz as you get up perk upgrades, which is good. So it gives, like, you have to scavenge the stuff to make weapons. It's nice. Same with obviously with Far Cry 3, to go in the wilderness and obviously collect plants and shit like that to make heals or whatever else. I don't use it, to be fair. I keep forgetting about that for just basically, hide. I also realised there's guns for hire. I didn't really know what the hell this was when I started the game, and it wasn't until I think, I don't know, less than halfway through the game, to be fair, but I realised where you can hire people in your little kiosk, whatever it is, your rooster, you can, people that you can select to hire, like random people, like fighters that you're free from hostages, and obviously some missions or people walking around, you can hire them. Now obviously you have to unlock in your rooster, whatever the hell it's called, to carry more troops. So I've only got 2. I think you can carry more, I'm not too sure. I've not seen any upgrades for more than 2, but it's a great help. It's a really good help, because a lot of missions, like I said, if you have an extra shooter with it, it makes life easier and less scary. And it varies. I mean, I found a couple of people with just SMGs and pistols, but I found some girl with an RPG. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And obviously throughout the game as well, when you do the stories and side missions, you can unlock main companions. I think there's 9 to choose from, and obviously they all vary from, well, no, I said it's spoiler alert. Like I said, this whole review is spoiler. So obviously you get from a dog to a fucking cougar or a cheetah, and obviously then you've got people like a sniper rifle and a guy who has an RPG. I'm pretty sure my names are in. Oh yeah, I've got me notes here. Like I said, it's weird as fuck doing a big, I think. But the main issue you got with that is the friendly fire, especially with rocket launchers, because either they'll do your target correctly, or they'll fire accidentally into you and then you get taken out. But luckily your companions can revive you. That's if they're not being stupid and fucking some reason the AI pathfinding is a bit ridiculous. They'll stay one area, or they'll travel. If there's a bit of fire, they'll just shit themselves, run away. But aside from that, they do have perks as well with them. I mean, I think I've got one with me that has, they'll automatically scavenge for ammo and money. So it's nice when you're walking around, obviously shooting enemies and stuff like that, exploring, they'll go, ooh, money, piece of candy, ooh, piece of candy, kind of shit, which is good. And my favourite combo I've got unlocked in the game is Grayson Herc. Herc's a redneck, he's a bit thick, but he's hilarious, he's a good hillbilly, he's got a rocket launcher, a camera, I think it's called a Carl Gustav, I think it is, and it's a homing rocket launcher. And you get that perk as well. If you're hit with him, he has that perk. And my other one is Grayson, she's a sniper. A very deadly sniper, like headshots for the full galore, she's cool. Where obviously like Herc's guns blazing kind of shit. But But what I also found out is, obviously your car's going to auto drive if you want to, you've got a location set, but the AI you guns for hire, they can also do the same thing there, where if you put a waypoint, they'll drive, which is pretty cool. Try and be a gun on the back is fucking cool. It is so awesome. But the AI pathfinding again is quite terrible, and sometimes they cannot drive for shit. Either they'll just crash into just most random shit, or they'll just stop dead, or they'll just drive off a cliff. Which is, yeah, it's fun. So yeah, we're getting there before the story. Like I said, the story is amazing. It's a mindfuck. Moving on, obviously you've got wildlife. You can pet dogs. So one little thing you do is you're free. In Nick's area, you can free a farm, which is horrible to see. Like, this family's been butchered and they're trying to steal the dog. And you get a dog. And you pet him. He's a good boy. And obviously, while you progress through, obviously, whatever area you're in, obviously, there's more wildlife. So I see you got your cows, you got your pigs, you got deer, you got fucking bears, big moose things. There's a few of us that fucking honestly, I did post a short on me on YouTube and TikTok where I think my first encounter with a cougar. No, it's not a 45-year-old woman trying to have me cock. It's a wild animal, which I just basically shot the fuck out of and just fucking started booting it. And it ran away. But yeah, while exploring the wilderness, and what's cool as well is the wildlife will be wildlife. Like, so I'm trying to fish. Obviously, it's cool as fuck. You can actually fish, and obviously you get your bait on that jazz. Very cool. Has heard the word fish, and he's going tits again. He doesn't like fish. I don't know why he's a tit. So yeah, you can see wildlife, nature being nature, and that's pretty cool. Like, you're walking around, see the deer like all frolicking, like, I'm a deer, yay. I think I saw a rabbit. I can't remember. I don't think there's a rabbit. I need to check the Wikipedia and double check. Unless I'm tripping balls. And obviously you see nature hunting nature. Like, I see a bear beat the shit out of deer and stuff like that. It's cool as hell. It's nice to see. But what I will state is, it's kind of spoiled already for the game, is there is a mission where you have to collect fucking, I mean, I saw from binoculars, I was checking the area, I saw a bull hump a cow, like full Monty doing it. I'm like, what the I'm sure I've got a clip here somewhere because it's hilarious. But there's a side mission where you have to collect bulges. It's real. I'm not doing the quest. It has activated after I got basically a Tesco truck back. Don't ask. Don't fucking ask. I've not put this in the review. It's a site spoiler, but it's not a spite spoiler. It's just, yeah. I wish I was making that up. And like I said, that it's good in nature. Obviously you can skin, unlike Far Cry 3 where obviously you have to, the actions take forever to basically skin. This is an instant skin. But obviously if you damage it with an RPG and stuff like that, obviously you lose your money. But it's good that that's how you make money for hunters, because there are hunters about in the woods that you can trade shit for guns and ammo, which is good, because getting, obviously, make sure you have ammo and that jazz, it's kind of hard in this game. But with hunters, when you unlock areas, it's good. But I have, oh my god, I was realised, I have seen a video of a hunter getting gangbanged by about fucking 10 warhogs, which I need to find the video after, unless it's on, I've got it somewhere. But yeah, I just saw a hunter. Oh, there's a hunter over here. Putting miraculous on, yeah, just like fucking wild hogs, just basically beating the shit out of her. I mean, they do respawn. They do respawn, which is good. I was like, oh fuck, I've lost a hunter. Turn around, boom, she's appeared, which is good. They do spawn. Same with there's always hostages and stuff like that, or down the roadside or whatever, which is good. Which is, you free them, you get workers, you get points, and all that jazz. But obviously, you get punished for killing them. But I mean, I think one of my first encounters of a hostage van is I killed the guy in the truck, and it was just rolling into a river. I couldn't get him out of the river. I mean, it's just shallow water, but I couldn't get the van to take him out, and they were stuck forever. And there's a video I've got on my YouTube for that already. So I ended up shooting it, and then, lo and behold, boom. I had a jump scare. So yeah. Aside from that, I think we're good to move on to the story stuff, because I said, what, you know, this is a nice length review I'm doing. I'm going to start these length reviews. Like I said, while I've only just finished Far Cry fights in my head, I can remember a lot of this stuff. And the fact that I've got like 250 gig worth of video I need to go through. Yeah. Right, so moving to the story, and it's an amazing story. It has got a few shit, but overall it's a good story that leads you basically, because I played for weeks to do this. So you start off, obviously you're in a fictional place in America called Hope County, Montana. Obviously Montana's real, but Hope County's not. Legal reasons, like I said, they can't use real names, places, otherwise you get sued. And obviously you go in through helicopter because the roads are blocked. And like I said, I found that the tunnel that's blocked, you can't escape anywhere. So yeah, you basically on this helicopter at night. You try and take all this shit in that you see the wilderness as they're talking helicopters, obviously with your police officers, obviously the warrant guys come in for the arrest. So you fly in and you see this big fucking statue of Father, and you think, what the fuck is going on? It's not Jesus, the new Messiah and stuff like that. And obviously you fly into the base, and he's preaching, and you arrest him, and you think, oh, that was easy, wasn't it? And obviously then his cultists, I don't know what they're called, Peggies. I can't remember why they're called Peggies. Explain the start of the game, I can't remember, but Peggies remind me of someone's calling like some kid's teeth Peggies. That's why I can think of. It's just kids' teeth, your baby teeth, Peggies. Clean your Peggies, brush your tooth. It's like, ugh. But there's a real sinister reason why they're called Peggies. I probably didn't save it in the video anywhere. Once there's some clips. So you arrest him, you start taking off, and then it goes tits from there because the cultists are trying to sacrifice themselves to get Jacob, the father. Is it Jacob? No, Jacob's. No, Jacob's the other guy. I've got notes here. It's still fucking I'm shit. So yeah, you crash a helicopter, and then you think, oh god, we're gonna get killed because these cultists come down. But then the father appears out of nowhere, like, hello, peekaboo, and he frees you and said you got a choice, run. Yeah, it reminds you of 3, where Vas obviously says you escape or some shit, and he's like, oh, there he is, and you get chased down by fucking these dogs and that stuff. Like, oh fucking hell. I mean, it's similarities, but it's good because it's a good plot. I mean, it put me on edge. I'm like, well, I've got no guns, I'm half dead, I need to get the fuck out and sneak through. And eventually you meet one, I can't remember the colleague, but you meet one of your colleagues, and then you drive the fuck out. But oh, that was it. I remember the scene now. That was it. Yeah. So you crash. You get on the bridge, and then you crash, and you fucking crash off the bridge. And then obviously your mate gets captured, and then you think, I think, oh god, Fowler's got me. But turns out there's a guy named Dutch, which he's a good guy, helps you out. Like I said, you do that little island, you're on the tutorial, and then you're basically free. But like I said, when you're on that island for the first time, the little baby one you're on, basically the tutorial level, it's good because it keeps you on edge. I'm like, oh my god, what am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? What's going on here? As you explore how bad, we take out the first little shrine, so obviously capturing an outpost and liberate it. It's good. And there is a funny reference I have to 3 and 4. Well, obviously you have to go to the top of a radio tower to activate some shit, and Dutch like, don't worry, I'm not doing this for the whole game, which is terrific. There's only one other time in the whole game where there's a radio tower that you go to fuck around with and stuff like that. So I'm like, thank fuck for that. So yeah, because of this, yeah. So like I said, so you can complete the tutorial, and I said, then you start to explore, and obviously basically it's 3 regions from the seeds. Obviously you've got to the north Jacob, to the west is Nick, and to the east is Faith. All of their own stories and their own basic shit, their own enemies, their own armies, all that jazz. And as you progress through the game, you everything makes sense. It does. It's not like regardless what order you do, shit does make sense. But there's a lot of stuff to mention to the story. There's a lot of shit to take in. Like I've probably missed like a good chunk, but trying to nutshell it for this fucking thing, and obviously my opinion to yay or nay. It's good. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. So many fucking notes. Jesus Christ. So yeah, what hit me most with the start is obviously once you leave the tour area, just walking around, exploring, looking, just taking shit in. Like I said, the whole thing is just take stuff in. Is the amount of death. There's a lot of death in this game from civilians, and you think, what the fuck's going on? I mean, you see crucifixes, people being hung. You see obviously hostages, and that just think, what the? You don't realize how bad, what the hell's gone to you, delve in. But what I like doing as well for games is, if you've watched me for years or if you knew, I love AI. I love fucking around, I love watching, I love seeing what AI do, and having AI, both NPCs, obviously with people and animals, it's hilarious. I have so much content of just NPCs just being absolute fucking idiots, and it's great. It's hilarious. It's bad, but it's good. I'm ragdolling too. I mean, I saw, I think, a guy get taken out by a cow. Literally a civilian got took out by a cow. It was great. It was hilarious. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. So the game, I think, started. I mean, Dutch tells you where your three buddies are, or 4 people. Is it 4? No, your three main people have been captured. So obviously to the north, to the south, to the east, and obviously it tells you to go north, and that's obviously Jacob. But obviously I started doing Jacob, but then I moved back to Nick, and obviously did a bit of Faith. And when I was doing Jacob, I think out the whole like bosses and stuff like that, I think Jacob is, I fear him the most because of how he fucks around with your head. It's a proper mind fuck what he does to you. Out of the lot I said, I aim for Jacob, then I aim for Nick, then I aim for Faith. I mean, Faith scared the shit out of me, to be fair, but Jacob was I'm trying to explain. I've got else. I'm trying to explain this start shit, but Jacob, basically, he's an ex-war veteran. So when you get captured first by him, you look at him. He's an I think I'm pretty sure he's an airborne. He served in Iraq, but his ideal is to train to make you to the perfect soldier by making you go through hell. I mean, judging by what his backstory is, it's pretty fucked up. Like how he went through, and obviously in Iraq and stuff like that. It's a proper mindfuck. Like he gets into your head. I mean, and I'm pretty sure it tries to PTSD or some shit. But he trains his for these tests. You train to be a soldier. Either you die or whatnot. But yeah, he's a hunter. So I say he hunts, and that's what made me on edge most. I mean, the main thing as well, like I said, only You by the Platters has mentally scarred me, because that's the song he uses that will trigger you to go into this trance and do this fucking quest. And you hear that, you're fucked. It's mate, no, it's horrible. I said you're constantly being chased by these hunters, and I said when you get captured or get captured, you hear that and you think, oh, I think the 4th time it happened, I was like, fuck it, go kick your ass, kind of shit. But what I figured out with the hunters is this very logical thing. I was literally thought, I'm now being hunted, I'll just fly this plane around, they can't capture me. I feel the highest altitude in the game, and I think there's a timer or some shit because I got hit by an arrow like 1,000 feet in the air. Yeah, which one shot takes you out. But again, as you progress through the game, obviously as I get captured by each of the characters, more story figures out who they are, and the father appears as well. Again, for another major mindfuck and spoiler is, I think the 2nd time you get captured, the father comes in. And he's you're in a cage, fucking tripping balls basically. You're fucking through this mental course, and this is probably what fucked them up the most. Is He was in his car with his pregnant wife, and they were on a crash. He luckily survived. His wife didn't, but they managed to get his baby newborn, get the newborn out of the mother, type of shit. And basically, he was on about, shut up, Drake. I'm trying to do a speech here, you twat. Okay, he's giving me shit. All right. So throw at me, please. I'm trying to do a nice thing. You mentioned, obviously, I think if I recall, saying, "Oh yeah, I saw my baby in all these tubes, and I knew it was a sign from God, basically to kill his kid." Yeah, that was just. But he was so calm and majestic. Time about like God told me to do this kind of shit. I'm like, what in the actual fuck is going on right now? Dax point explains why he's just gone. Fuck it. I don't know if it what. I lost a brain cell or some shit. Yeah, it's horrible as fuck, and it gets worse in this game because they all gaslight you and try to do this psychological thing onto you to make you the bad guy. These guys are perfect, that they're doing the right thing. They always constantly say, it's true, they try and paint a picture like, I'm doing all this good, all this bollocks, preparing, all this crap, and then you're taking it away, kind of shit. It's the constant thing, and it's like, it does make you question, like, am I doing the right thing? Am I really thinking about this for a minute? Like, it makes you think, but like, no, this guy killed his fucking newborn kid. This guy's a fucking pedophile, killer cunt. Again, it man's tried to Far Cry 3 with Vaz. Like I said, you don't see much in the game, but he's in your mindset all the time. I think there's a video I watched, a guy discussing the whole Far Cry 3. I think he has 20 minutes to half an hour of actual you see him in the game. There's not a lot of time to see fast, but it's that in your head. And same with these guys, you don't see them much. You only see these characters if a scene triggers, like you get captured or some shit. You don't see them often. Again, but it's the impact they have, which is why it's a good game. Draco, stop being a tit. I'm gonna say it's like, you can play a game, mini game, how many times do I say his name? But moving on to Jacob, like I said, the first time you're captured, the Whitetail Militia come and save your ass, and a guy called Eli, I think it is, he does it, he saves your ass, and obviously I was like, no, I shouldn't do it. But basically, I think when you do these tests, obviously it is a mindfuck, because this test is the same test, it's just slightly longer, but the test is the test. You know where the enemies are, you know what's what, so you know where weapons and guns are. That's what trains you up. That's the psychological shit happens. So it trains you up and goes, yeah, enemy there, boop, 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 do that. And then the last time you do it, you kill Eli. I mean, the first 2 times you do it, you're surrounded by bodies, which doesn't make sense for all just tripping balls. But then you kill Eli. But I didn't rise till short. I think as I got out the corner to take him out, then you take out this mysterious figure. First it's nothing, and then it dresses like you. It's got like a suit, but I think whatever you're wearing, or like a police suit. And then the third time round, it's got a face, and I realized till after I took the shot, because you trained as a soldier to kill. And obviously Jacob's like, you see, I've done the job. And I said, then you wake up out of the trance, and you're in the White Trail HQ with Ellie dead. And it's like, what the fuck? That's good storytelling. That's great. I mean, it's upsetting at the same time, but that's like, holy it. Because I see that pissed off, you want to take Jacob out, then you realise, oh shit, you're in under his spell. And compared Jacob to Nick and Faith, I mean, Faith is a mind fuck. I mean, she just scared me a bit, but they're not as terrifying as Jacob, as mind fucking. They're not the different aspects. He's obviously like trying to hunt, kill. He's I'll explain them to them in a minute about them too. But like I said, until I met Faith, I did fear her a bit, because I'm like, oh god, she appears out of nowhere. So like I said, but even killing Jacob, his boss was a challenge to kill because he's full of hunters and he's up this fucking giant hill and you've got to take all this shit out. You're still in this half trance on this base and you got to take these towers out and then you got to kill him, and it's like at a low level with all this stuff. It was so hard to do. And then, like I said, then you go to the obviously you take him out to your key, and then you go to his vault and you free Stacey Pratt, and he has like he's fucked in the head. He's fucked. I thought you have to kill him, but no, he's fucked, and that's what he's done well. But I think there's a scene where obviously you free him, you got to destroy these bunkers. Obviously you get an M60 and he fucking starts screaming, but I'm pretty sure that is a scene from Rambo. I think it's Rambo 2, I can't remember, unless it's an entirely different film from the 80s, but I'm pretty sure it is Rambo, where he grabs machine guns and screams like LZR, because obviously you say it in regards to if you scream while basically firing a gun, apparently it reduces you being deaf or whatever, some shit that is, I don't know. But there's a nice, I'm sure there's a reference for that in the scene. So that's Jacob. Jacob he's a great villain. They've done a very, very good job on Jacob. But let's move on to Nick. Nick didn't seem to be a psychopath at first. Like, I didn't fear him at all. I thought he's just a wet wipe. But until you get captured by him, and then you he wants to cleanse you, and then you have to confess your sin. And I think your sin is, I didn't realize at first until later on, so your sin is 7 deadly sins. So whatever sin you are, and it's basically Nick does baptize initially to basically, does he think you're worth saving or not? Which reminds you of the scene of Simpsons where Ned tries to baptize Bart and Lisa. And I just figured out to double check that episode exists, and it does exist, and that episode is 18 years old. That episode, that's fucking, yeah. But that's what that scene reminds me of, is where he tries to so yeah, if you don't pass this initial test to cleanse or not, you drown, you die. But obviously the father comes out of nowhere being fucking old religious and shit, goes, I have faith in this child, come with us. And then you get like your van gets like knocked off the road, and then here comes the where's his bloody name, and his name's somewhere. You meet the pastor, not the pastor, the pastor. His name's somewhere at all. But when you get captured the second time around, when you're in his bunker, Nick, like he's on about a fucking, when obviously you see Joey, she's obviously tied up and stuff like that. Obviously he's gonna tattoo a sin, basically etch into you, like till you bleed type shit. No, it's none of the safe stuff, but he will fucking, oh god, oh, the cage is shut. Okay, I shut one then. I turned around, I thought the cage door was open and Draco was gonna come out. You're not crying out, man, doing a review. After a review, yeah? No. Anyway, so Nick starts chatting shit, and he said, I want you, who's going to choose to basically sin? But he has like I think a piece of paper, and he staples it to a fucking wall, which I thought nothing of it until later on in the game, where he realizes he's a fucking psychopath, because obviously initially he chooses your word, whatever, you know, word you are, and then he will go, this is your name, and etch it on you. But what happens is he taps it into you, because obviously when you end up going later to the church in Falls End. Is it Falls End? Draco is trying to escape right about now. See, this is why everything taking long to do. Literally, he's just going. Okay, I'll take a picture of him, put him in a review probably. When you go to the church, obviously you capture your friends, you go in. He tattoos one of the guys, big, to repent your sins, kind of shit, and etches like whatever his sin is, and then gets a knife and fucking cuts it off his skin, his stomach. Like, I'm like, at that moment you realize this guy's a fucking psychopath, because you think, what in the actual fuck is going on? He's etched you fucking till you bleed until you're half dead, and then cut your skin off. So that's what it put me to the edge of like, oh my god. Which also makes sense to why the father has loads of fucking the space. I'm pretty sure he's got the 7 deadly sins on him etched everywhere. So that makes sense. But what's disappointing is his death. To be fair, before you, I did his obviously death. Obviously, I saved Nick Rye in the airfield. Obviously, get a plane. And basically, you go to after you've basically fucking try and chase Nick. He's in the plane. You grab a plane, and then you and Nick, when you got him locked, just shoot him down. But that's because you've got your heel. Because you've got your heel. You know, your vehicle. You don't lose much damage. It's fine. I think machine guns have infinite ammo, apart from rockets and stuff like that. So having you two take out, it's not really. His death is like, but it's not that dramatic. And prior to me capturing Nick and getting the bunker, I captured where you run to get him or some shit to get the airplane, and I liberated the camp, and basically one of the characters turned around and said, "Oh yeah, it's what I'm gonna do now that he's dead." And that's before I killed him. I'm like, oh, really? But like I said, you save Joey, and the area is free. So there's nothing else major on that end. And now you've got Faith. Now, when I started to explore the game, when I started exploring the whole game map itself, I didn't realise, but at all, Faith she's just bliss, like this the drug that they have. But she appears. I'm minding my business, exploring, and walking through the fields, and then she starts speaking. I turn around, there's this fucking girl in the fields, fucking fucking singing a shit one. And this is when obviously I don't know, there's no brakes in the car, so I fucking drive away. Yeah. That what put me on edge until I actually met her. But judging by her story, Faith, I think she's a druggie. What are you doing, Draco? You're just staring at me. I'll take you out in a minute. Once I've done this review, or 5. I think she was a druggie, and obviously she's saying, "Oh, your father basically showed me the way," and all that stuff, and somehow, you know, she's got bliss, which is, you know, it's fucking worse than meth, you know. So here's how I think. Like I said, you think you meet her after you free the prison, and that's where you meet Earl Whitehorse, obviously the cowboy bearded guy. He's lovely, and basically Faith's thing is like, when you capture it, it's like Isle of Eden. It's all sunshine, rainbows. It's fucking there's not a care, there's no dangers, there's nothing at all in the world, but you're tripping fucking balls, major balls, and obviously you need to try and save the marshal, which is Cameron, who, you know, he was in charge of arresting Joseph. He's in this trance, and you eventually save him, but he's in this trance. But the funny thing is, right, he's unconscious. I got a video as well. He's unconscious, but I got bored. I thought, let's see if I punch him, if I mess around with him, and turns out, yeah, I knocked him out, revived him, and he's just walking around the prison like nothing went on, and then speaking to people. I'm like, yeah, your programmers not need to do that, because technically you shouldn't see that. But yeah, I was kind of a mind, like, you can't kill him. I just bullied the shit out of him, and he still survived. But the Faith, again, she was another mindfuck, because like I said, the more angry she got, she'd appear, obviously while you're exploring her area, but then you get too close, or you start punching her, she'll then spawn into like a bear or a cougar or Peggy's. And the more you fuck around with her, when you're exploring, you see people with the bliss dust and animals, and you think, oh shit, that's not a person, that's what they are, like a bear or a cougar, you know, the animals. And sometimes they'll respawn twice, which is like, I mean, it's not scary, but it's like, it's kind of like keep an eye on it kind of stuff. But what was that again for hers for mindfuck, like, it's above Nick, is the fact that she controlled Cameron. I can control anyone I wanted to control. It's a mind drug. It controls people, and obviously he shot the mayor. Virgil, yeah, he killed Virgil the mayor. He's a wholesome guy. He just wants to, you know, people wear his badges and be a team and don't worry about worries. and then Cameron kills himself. I'm like, fuck, why? I mean, you kill one of the most harmless characters in the game, Virgil, and then also you kill fucking. I wasn't. I was expecting some character to die, but I wasn't expecting that right there. I'm like, for fuck's sake. But that's how she gets into your head and she tells you to do stuff. Same with Jacob and his, you know, stuff. But killing Faith was easy because it's kind of a chance to fight in a small map area. But every time she vanishes, so like health and ammo will appear, and I'm like, well, okay, sound. But then her death reminds me of the villain in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, not a guy in the fucking trench coat or some shit. Obviously when he kills the shoe, or he melts, that's what it looked like, reminded me of. It's just I'm melting, like kind of shit. I'm like, but it's like, again, it's a bit, it's gone the climax. I don't fear it, but what's depressing is, like I said, I do actually miss driving around the area and she just appears or some shit. It was hilarious at this point. But I forgot to mention as well, when you take out every main boss, Seed, the father will chant a speech about them and that jazz. And obviously when you take out all three, then he's like, come fight me bro, 1v1 Rust, and the 360 no scope. Then you go, you don't do that, but you go back to where the start of the game is, to the church, and he has all your friends under a spell. Like, everyone's fucking there at gunpoint. Like, he says you have a choice, you can go free or you can resist. And I was like, if I go free, he said that your friends will be free. I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll see what happens. And obviously, like, everyone's, your police crew fuck off and get out, and then it's like, well, we're gonna send the fucking cavalry in afterwards. But then only you gets played on the radio and it goes black, so it indicates that you've gone into trance and you've killed your colleagues, and then the game ends. And it fucking pissed me off that I'm like, really? But luckily you can reload the game and you do the main ending, which is, like I said, you resist. So after a battle of resisting, getting out, basically your allies are enemies, they're under the trance, you have to shoot them, knock them out, and inject them to be your friends. It was stupid, really stupid for a reason, that little bit was, but it was easy. But then you arrest the father and nukes go off. Yeah, nukes go off around, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then, like I said, you boot it, fucking you boot it. I know a lot of you boot it to the shelter, to dodge the shelter, avoiding everything, and then obviously, long behold, you crash. Surprisingly, I'm not surprised, and then I think everyone's dead apart from you. And obviously, the father comes out. I thought it was Dutch who's saving us, but it turns out the father killed Dutch. And basically, father's like, gives a whole essay speech, and he's like, "You're my son now. I'm the father." And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. So, and then that ends. But that's the true ending, because obviously Far Cry New Dawn takes after 5, which I probably won't even play because oh yeah, I forgot to mention as well with Faith is you save White Horse is I forgot his bloody name, the cowboy looking guy, from hanging himself in Faith's bunker. He's like, I know, please help, I'm not gonna do this, and he starts humming, and I was like, oh fuck, you run to race, it's whatnot. But aside from that, yeah, there's a few plot holes, there's a few scenes that could be different or whatnot, to spice stuff up. There's a few bugs, a few issues. Like I said, a bug I mentioned earlier in the start of the video is where I was in Nick's bunker and trying to get the police to get through, but it didn't spawn a scene, so I was just staring at Nick and obviously your colleague Joey tied to a chair, and there's nothing you can do because the scene won't load, so I had to reload the fucking game, and that was a nightmare to do. Really nightmare to do. But aside from that, the game is really it's good. It's overall a good game. Like I said, there's over 100 licensed songs, which is pretty fucking good. And obviously when you end the game you can reset all outposts, so I've got that. You can all the time you can reset all outposts, so that's something to do, which is good. But it's gonna be weird the fact that there's no seeds. But the moral story is, do not trust anyone with a man bun. But so yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. Like I said, it's a big one, but while I still have just played the game, it's fresh in my head. I'll do a review because I did thoroughly enjoy it. I mean, I need to now try and finish off 6, which I can't really be asked, but I'll do 6 and I'll do a review on that. I mean, I will be doing a game series on Far Cry 3 in the future. I know I've got 2, but 2's just limited to, yeah, 2 I might just do clips through the story, because I do want to play a story, but it's the same shoot, go to target, shoot, whereas 3 has like a more diverse thing to it. I also got 5 and then probably 6. So yeah, until next time, again, never trust the guy in a man bun, and if someone says we're going to see Jesus, say no thank you, I'd rather do meth or bliss or anal beads. And then I have to try and cuddle Draco, but now he's decided to sulk like a grumpy dragon. Yeah. So yeah, tally ho and all that jazz.